Or pop right here with PBS 1330 AM on your dial.
Yeah.
April, it's summer job program. It really is. We've been getting a lot of calls. Okay.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. People want to know different information. What we're gonna do? We're gonna put it on the website. What it is, it's not an application. It's a waiver. Okay.
Okay.
A waiver.
This is for the participants.
For the participant,
Okay.
guardian, or parent.
Oh, okay.
Advising them that we won't be held liable for anything, but we will try our very, very best to make sure that their child or their
Routine or their
routine or whatever
Yeah.
is working. Okay. And we've been successful at that, so that part they probably don't have to worry about getting the job.
Okay.
If we get enough funds,
Yeah.
that's the other thing.
Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today after we do the roll call.
After we do the roll
Yeah,
call.
you're just like
Oh, I forgot about that.
you 20 minutes into the show, Brother Elwood.
Really? Oh man, this roll
DJ,
call.
you're supposed to help me keep him straight.
Okay.
It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
Let me get the paddle. I'll be ready.
Thank you. Okay,
You
we
know what?
gonna go old school on him. Okay.
You know, when do we exit today? Who's stopping us now?
Get the granny paddle.
All right.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Today.
It's good stuff though we're talking about
good
today
stuff.
with some job program.
Right.
Mhm.
And we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our sick and shut in.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
Send our condolences, our prayers out to the sick and shut in all over our serving area, and that's worldwide.
Worldwide.
By the way, that's worldwide.
Because we're global.
We're global
Mhm.
at www.wcmagazine.net.
There you go.
Okay? www.wcmagazine.net. There's a lot of stuff that's posted on there. Well, I'm telling you, video stuff. Okay? Today's broadcast is going to be posted on there also. Right?
That's right. We're gonna make it happen.
Gonna make it happen.
Mhm.
So let's start with our
Do our roll call.
roll call.
Gotta make
Yeah,
sure they're
yeah.
listening.
Now we may not carry through it 100%, but we always start with A.
We always attempt to
Yeah, we always
call it in alphabetical order, but
we're letting y'all know what our good intentions are.
somehow or another after B we get lost.
Right. There's a B.
You were thinking right after A.
Yeah. I thought we at least got down to D and we don't get that far?
No.
All right, let's start with that town that would call us if we didn't say it.
Okay.
What's that?
Allentown.
Yeah, Allentown.
Yeah, we
All
gonna
right.
we'll get a call.
Burgess.
Aner. See?
Okay, that's all right. There's no
How
from
did he
A to
skip?
B.
He went, but you skipped Aner.
Okay. Allentown, Ana. That's what it is, the A's, right?
Yeah, unless there's an A that's out there that listening, call in. Let us know.
Yeah, I got to give them the number.
Yeah.
Area code 843-248-6365 or 843-248-2890. Just call us in on that. If we didn't call your jurisdiction, they didn't call your town.
That's right.
Okay? So, continuing on with the B's, Burgess.
Yeah, Bucksport,
Oh, wow.
Bayboro,
Wow.
Bucksville. Okay.
Wow. Let's say Buford. Let's just
I
bring
like
Buford.
that, yeah.
Okay, let's just bring Buford.
Yeah, I like that.
Because usually we're worldwide.
We're
Okay?
worldwide. Yeah.
But especially local wide.
local wide.
Especially local wide. And Buford. Yeah, Buford is
Yeah.
okay.
I have family down there. You know, they be listening. You never know.
Okay, I'll start to say Carlos B, but that's C. Let's start.
You have any more B's you wanna?
No, I don't
No.
have any more B's right now. C. Carver's Bay.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's see, Cochrantown.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be good. Wow.
Yeah.
Chop E.
There you go. Okay, so we.
Charleston.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Columbia.
Wow.
Big things happening in Columbia. Red for Ed SC
That's
at the
right.
State House.
Yeah.
Teachers are speaking out.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just, what do they want? Just more money.
They want more everything.
More everything.
They want to stop coming out of their pockets for supplies. They need raises. They need mental health counselors in schools. They need some of everything.
Yet you don't want to raise the taxes for any particular person. That's why. Well, I don't want to get into that.
That's a deep one now.
That's a deep. Yeah. Okay. Continuing on the D's.
How about Darden Terrace?
Hey, Darden Terrace.
That's right.
I like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Darlington,
Darlington.
Dillon.
Wow, we're getting there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the E's.
Mm.
You know, if we have to come back, fine. We'll come back.
Okay.
E's for everywhere.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
He covered it.
He is everywhere. F is for,
See what we have before F. What do we have in F? Any F's, PJ, that you can think of?
we'll come back.
We'll come back to F's. All right.
We can think of some F's.
Yeah.
Florence.
Oh, Florence.
Florence.
Yeah.
See, PJ, I keep both of us straight now.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
It's
Florence, there.
Florence. Faintly,
Think, oh,
that's right.
you know what, we gonna
Look,
get.
we'll
Spanked.
give this phone number again. If we don't call your jurisdiction, but give us a call back and
We
remind us, okay?
We can't remember
We do
everything.
want to acknowledge all of our sick and our shut in, all right?
Mhm.
Give us a call, area code 843-248-6365 or 843-248-2890.
That's it.
Okay,
All right.
continuing on,
Say so. G's.
Gresham,
Greeleyville,
okay,
yeah.
Georgetown,
Georgetown. That's right,
that's right, Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can I just revert to the A's one more time?
You can. You thought one?
Because these people in the A's are listening. Annie Village.
Exactly. You
Annie
always
Village,
say-
Annie Village is listening.
Yes.
Okay. I'm telling you, if we don't call now, you'll call, give us a call,
You
let us
gotta
know.
help us out.
Okay, help us out.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. GH,
Okay.
hand community,
Yes, the hand.
and we got in the C's, Chesterfield area.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Any H's you can think of, PJ?
H.
No.
No.
All right. Okay.
Someplace we're going that we don't do right.
Wait. It is Bible study day.
I'm talking about help.
And prayer
I'm not talking about
service.
the other one. I'll say help.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the H-E-L. Okay, all right.
People skip the I's and call it
It's
J.
it's a real place.
You got that right.
J. K.
You always say Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. K.
Johnsonville.
That's right. L. That is K's. I don't know the K's. You know, L.
Give a shout out to Kingston Lake.
Oh, K's King Street. Yeah, Kingston Lake. Yeah.
In King Street.
Yeah, there you go. Very
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
PJ.
L. Lone, South Carolina.
There you go. Little River.
Little River, Big River.
Mm-hmm. Lanes.
Ladder.
What y'all know about Lanes,
Lane,
South Carolina?
Lane, South Carolina.
I got people down there too. I'm telling you, family
Well,
everywhere.
Joel gonna call and say about that. Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Ladder.
Ladder.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Louisville.
Okay.
I've seen that something comment. Okay. M.
Marion.
Marion.
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mullins.
Mullins.
Yeah.
M. N. Okay. N. Let's do what the N word is.
You know what?
Yeah,
Nichols.
yeah,
Nichols.
that's right.
Nichols.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
North Myrtle Beach.
North Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Merle's Inlet.
Yeah, this is harder than you
Yeah,
think. It really is.
It really is.
One of these days, I am going to just make a list so that we don't. I'm
But
gonna.
it's more fun this way.
It is, you know,
It's a
trying to
check.
recall everything. I
Trying to
like
recall
it.
everything.
Yeah.
That-
We need y'all to call and help us.
Yeah, so give us a call, okay? All right, so, if we miss anybody, just give us a call, okay? All right, you're listening to Whittemore Community Magazine Hour Power right here at WPGS 1330 AM on your dial, where information is power. We were just giving y'all information, and today,
Oh, wait a minute. You can't go any further.
you talking about the capital.
We still have a couple of places, and you know what? I think we take for granted where we actually are, and we never say Conway as far as the C's are concerned.
Right.
Because we're here.
Because we're here.
Because we're here, you know.
Yeah, and we do take it, man, because we are.
We
in
are here, so we need to shout out Conway.
Beautiful downtown Conway.
Oh man,
All right.
it's looking good.
Yeah.
All right, so then Spivey Alley, Sand Ridge. You know we get a call if we don't say Sand Ridge.
501.
And I've skipped to the S's. We got to back up a little bit. Go to the P's for
That's right.
Plantersville,
Plantersville.
Pauley's Island. Oh, the M's, Merle's Inlet.
That's right. I called Merle's.
Did you call Merle's
Called
Inlet?
Merle's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, certainly did.
Okay.
Like you said, we're gonna itemize it, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the capital.
And now the capital.
Yes.
If anybody knows what the capital of Conway is, if you give us a call, we might, I don't want to say we give out advice, but give us a call, area code 843-248-6365 or 843-248-2890. You know what the capital of Conway is. So we're gonna count to 20,
Count to 20.
and then we're gonna tell you what it is if you don't call in and let us know what it is, okay?
All right.
All right, is someone on the line, BJ?
No.
Okay.
Because we don't want the line to be busy. Might try to call it. But while we're contemplating that, our co-host, the mighty Garner.
How mighty I am, but
Look,
have
that's
fun.
a hint for the Capitol. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to say Garner City. That's what I'm going to say.
Say Garner City.
That's a hint for the capital of Conway. All right.
There's a couple of us over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anyway, guess what's happening? My brother's going to call in today. Brother James Stephen III.
Mhm.
He's going to tell us about this. This is unprecedented. Well, probably unprecedented for this area. This is the Def Jam comedy.
Oh yeah.
Going to be at the Asher Theater.
Oh my goodness.
They're calling it a 25-year reunion.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I wanna go.
May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And he's got Shucky Ducky. I'm telling you, you're going to laugh, all right? Hamburger. It's going to be hosted by J. Anthony Brown. Of course, it's going to include Mr. Stevenson III himself. That's the man of 1,000 voices. He likes to say 1,000. I said 1,000,000 voices. Okay, he's impersonating everybody, man. I tell you. And bruh, man. So we got about 5 great comedians. Some people probably never heard it. I don't know what the age group is, but it's this is unprecedented. Okay.
Totally unprecedented.
Totally unprecedented. 25-year reunion. So, Brother James Stephen III will call us and fill us in a little bit more about that. We're happy to be part of that in terms of getting the information out there.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm sure he's probably already contacted the network. Probably. If not, he will. Okay. And he'll tell you where the Asher Theater is. Or I can just tell you where the Asher Theater is. So 3237 Waccamaw Boulevard. That's right on the right hand side of the bridge as you're going over to Myrtle Beach. Okay. What's the name of that hotel that's over there?
It's now the Riverwalk.
Riverwalk,
It used
okay.
to be the Holiday Inn West back in
Used
the
to be
day.
Holiday West right there.
Mhm.
He and his beautiful wife, really nice lady, Ms.
Mhm.
Grace Stevens,
Mhm.
have got something that the Horry economy has been lacking for a long time, and that's an entertainment complex that both wholesome and fully entertaining at the same time. And they provide good shows over there. But he'll call us and give us a fill in. Okay.
Okay.
So, the summer jobs. Now, we're going to post on the site to all of our listeners and those of you who've been calling, I guess me personally, on the phone, my phone. I'm sure you've probably been calling this in our fault, and I might have touched base with April here regarding information on how your child, your son, your daughter, your grandchild can have access to a summer job this summer. It's become very popular, so when we're not, God willing, we're not going to turn anybody down if we get some funds. Okay, so if you and you have prospects for your child wanting to work, then you should assist us by letting those people who want to give towards this, let them know that you need their help, okay? And us securing funds in order to help your child, your grandchild, or whomever you want to work, okay? That's a simple process, okay? And a lot of people just willing to do so because they want to see what the future is going to be. Without them working, that's not a very good future, okay? Because if we prepare them now and train them now to be productive citizens, somebody's life could be saved because we don't know what this child is going to turn into. Okay, I mean it's just that extreme. Okay, you don't know what he or she's going to turn into. You may be the victim of his actions if he doesn't have the right guidance. And for him working right now, it could be part of that guidance for him in the future. That sounds like a preacher or something.
Yeah, you sound like you're preaching.
was-
I didn't know. We're getting a sermon today.
Sermon today.
But,
Okay.
but what you're saying is really important, because if you expose the youth and teens to opportunities now to understand what career paths are like, they'll make more informed and educated choices,
Yeah.
either for
Right.
college or career, you know? And so that's why this is so essential.
So essential.
Mhm.
And you always say it better than I do. Let me tell you.
I said the same thing you said.
No, and we have amassed that all those of you in video, you're looking. April is I'll say the person over at Orange Georgetown Tech. You mind me saying that?
You already
For-
said it,
no,
whether I
no.
liked it or not.
I'm talking about it in providing guidance to.
Oh, yeah, you got that part right. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Mhm.
providing guidance to the freshmen coming in over at Orange Georgetown Technical College, and
And the seniors going out.
really,
Oh, yes.
they so desperately need. I mean, that's
They can get guidance coming in, and I can help them find jobs going out. A to Z. A to Z?
doesn't get any better than that. Okay,
No.
just doesn't get any better than that. We are, that's what we're here for. Okay, to give you that kind of information. I'm thankful for April because she can be that conduit
Yeah.
with her expertise at Orange Georgetown Tech to kind of provide guidance and a simple mentorship. Not an everlasting mentorship, but hopefully whatever she provides can be an everlasting thing on your mind. So thankful for that. And Ms. April,
Mhm.
what's on the agenda?
Well, of course, we're going to just touch upon summer jobs, and of course, there's the event that's this weekend, the contributor event,
Yep.
and just really make a rally for more contributions, and then we'll talk about some things that are happening around the community, and anything. I mean, we're just chatting it up today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just chatting it
Look,
up.
seems like every time we try to chat up, we spill out information that's very vital,
Mhm.
okay? And we do value this as an opportunity to do that, okay? That's why it's so critical that when we're on radio and video, as it turns out, and you can see us on the website after the broadcast at some point, about today's broadcast, okay? Well, we've got some callers, but to the people who called in and don't want to talk on the radio just a few minutes ago, wanted to know about the summer jobs program. Hope you're listening on WPJS 1330, okay? WPJS 1330 AM on your dial. We will deeply consider a 12-year-old, okay? If nothing but to pay him or her a stipend, because they can start off, and who knows, that could be a future entrepreneur, future person who wants to go into business
Mhm.
for himself or herself,
Mhm.
okay? And that's what the ultimate goal is.
Correct.
Really, to provide businesses. Make them start businesses of their own.
Mhm.
Okay.
Spirit of entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But if you have to start off working for somebody, then fine.
But that's how you're gonna figure it
That's
out.
right. that's how you're gonna figure it out. Because that's discipleship. Okay. And that's good. That's exactly what we need. So we're also asking for your appeal. You can. We're going to post something on the website about where they could send their funds to. April.
Mhm.
Okay. Just go to our website, www.wcmagazine.net. Okay. www.wcmagazine.net. We're going to try and have all the information for you. If you don't have access to a computer, if you don't have it, then your grandson might. Everybody,
If
all
they
the
have a
students.
phone, they have access to a
Right.
computer.
If they have a phone, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I don't know if that's an excuse or not. Do you think so? I don't know. But all you have to do is ask your daughter, ask your son, or ask your grandson, or ask your granddaughter, how do I get this online? And these 6-year-olds can teach us a thing or two.
They really can.
Okay? Over a telephone. They'll fix your phone for you in a minute.
They really can. Yeah, the babies.
Yeah, the babies.
Mhm.
Well, that should tell us something. You know, they can do that. They can learn Spanish at that age.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, French,
Mhm.
math. Okay.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's it's not a whole different subject, but this is something that we want to talk about at a different time. So, April, the what you have announcements? Oh, Miss Miss Marjorie McIver is still providing us updated information on the Emmanuel movie,
Mhm.
Emmanuel 9 movie. Ms. McIver, if she wanted to say, do you have information from last week?
On the movie?
Yeah, she can call.
Well, yeah, she probably would need to call in and give us an update
Yeah,
as to whether or
give us
not
an
tickets
update.
are still available.
Right,
I was under the
right.
impression that she was close to being sold out of that.
Close to being sold out,
the
yeah.
theaters, if not already sold out, so.
Yeah, but I think she said she ordered 200 more.
Okay.
She had to order 200 more, something like that.
You know, that would be great.
Now that's something. I think that's what the conversation went.
Mhm.
So if that is the case, man,
Yeah.
and it's a movie that should be seen.
Mhm.
It really is. It's a movie that should be seen.
Mhm.
I can't wait. Already got my ticket. You got yours too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I got yours too. You got yours too,
Not
PJ?
yet, not yet.
All right. Do that, brother.
I'm on it,
He's on it.
I'm on it.
So,
You want to do a commercial break real quick and then we'll come back and do some community
okay.
announcements?
We can- yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll be right back.
We have none other than, I'm gonna say the Honorable.
That's right.
The Honorable.
That's right.
Cedric Lane
Yeah,
staying
man.
in the house. And let me tell you how this happened.
Yeah.
I ran into Ced at a store we will not name the other night, and he was already talking to some people in the store about this issue that we're getting ready to
Right,
talk
we're
about
gonna
real
talk about
quick
it, right.
on the air. I said, you have got to come on and tell people what is going on with this impact that's about to happen. And so he was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, I'm just a community activist trying to do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, that's the great thing about people like Cedric. If, you know, you're called to action, not afraid to do it.
Right,
And, you know,
right,
this
right.
is so important. You want me to open it up for you? This is so important as far as this information that I'm about to give you. And
We're gonna show it to him on the video
Yeah.
as much as we can.
as much here, I'll give you that
As
so
much-
you can so you're a little
Yeah.
closer to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Horry County Ride 3, Conway Perimeter Road Phase 2, public information meeting for the Sand Ridge and surrounding areas. This meeting is happening Thursday, May 2nd, that's tomorrow,
Right.
from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at St. John Church of God, Fellowship Hall, 3401 Kates Bay Highway in Conway, all right? So Cedric is here to tell us why it's important for you to attend this meeting and what all is going on. Basically, if you reside and or own property from Temple Street, Lincoln Park, down to 9th Avenue
Yeah.
to Dirty Branch Road off of Kates Bay Highway between Highway 701 South and 378, you should definitely be at this meeting. So Cedric, tell us why. What's going on?
Excuse me, but I think the impact is even greater than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Long term.
Really?
Mhm.
Really? I think the impact is even greater, but I'll let Cedric do that. Go ahead, Cedric.
Thank you, Whittemore Newsletter, Our Power, for
Yeah.
having us at the short notice.
Let's rephrase that now. Whittemore what?
Whittemore Magazine, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Community magazine.
Community Magazine. So y'all see, I go way back when it
Yes,
was
you
just.
do.
um,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes.
That's all right.
So thank you so much for having us here, Sister April and Brother McQueen and Brother PJ, the DJ,
Yeah.
here this afternoon, just to bring awareness, as Sister April says, she heard the conversation on last evening in a store, trying to get the information out. We went door to door yesterday, trying to get the word out in the community to let people know about this ride. Ride 3, Road Phase 2, the
Right.
Conway Perimeter that's coming. And one reason why we're able to speak with Marla Watson with the SCDOT, and let me make this disclaimer, I am not a representative of the SCDOT.
South Carolina?
South Carolina Department of Transportation. I cannot speak for them. I'm speaking as your state executive committeeman and state executive council member for the 7th Congressional District of South Carolina and Horry County, and more so as a community activist. So I'm not here speaking on behalf of anybody, just as a community activist this afternoon, saying how important this is for the community and everyone to join in this meeting tomorrow. The SCDOT, Marla Watson, and those with the state program manager for the South Carolina Department of Transportation was gracious, because a lot of residents didn't receive the notice of the first meeting they had on Thursday, March the 28th, that was held at the Conway Recreation Center. And a lot of people that didn't receive the notice stand a chance of their homes being displaced because of this new highway coming through. So we networked with SCDOT to come out for another public meeting. Now, be mindful, everyone in Radio Land, the last day for public input was April the 15th. But they were gracious to us to extend it, and the time frame that we had to work with their schedule, Marla, who's the program manager, was tomorrow. So they have agreed to extend the public comments, and there's a public information comment sheet that would be presented tomorrow. Tomorrow will be your last day in this phase of the project to submit your comments, and there are about 5 corridors that are coming from El Beltha Road. If anyone know where El Beltha Road, where Walmart is in Conway, most people say Wally World and all them names for it. But what they're doing, they're expanding that 4-lane highway all the way through to Highway 701 South. And tell you the plan, one of the plans, and actually if you can see the map they have here in the studios, the potential roadway corridors, one of the 3 of the corridors go right over Food Line in Conway. And that's Braintree Apartments is right behind Food Line. So someone said, oh, they're going to take it out. I said, remind you, I shared with a lady yesterday. I said, ma'am, do you remember Bilo's that turned into Harvey's? I said, where's Harvey's? She said, they closed. I said, although big money usually win, I said, but Harvey's is closed. I said, if SCDOT want to come through this way, Food Line means nothing to them. Raintree Apartments mean nothing to them. Housing developments mean nothing. Usually, as they say, they choose the path of less displacement, the less people they have to buy out. But if they really determine to bring the highway through, they'll bring it through. But let me say something else about this. Elections have consequences. Because if you notice in that meeting and on the paper that was sent to us from the SCDOT, it said that this was based upon a RIDE 3 referendum that was on the 2016 ballot. And at that meeting on Thursday, March the 28th, one of the ladies from Columbia said to me, well, you voted for this. I said, no, that's the sad thing. And if you read the Ori Independent, the comment I made in the Ori Independent was, now what they should do, if they're going to put a referendum on the ballot about a road phase, a RIDE 2, RIDE 3, well, go for it, RIDE 4, RIDE 5 from here on out, or whatever it is, a continuation of RIDE 3, if we're voting on a project, then there should be a sample project on the ballot. Or either, as they do with the referendums, they give you the cliff note of the questions, the explanation, then there should be something. They say, well, we voted on a concept. So I said, no, so then you're saying those that voted, because I didn't vote for that, because I felt with the state legislators, they could have gotten that money from somewhere else. I said, so actually I know what you're talking about. I voted no on that referendum. I said, but so for those that voted yes, now they stand for their homes to be loose. So they voted to be displaced. Is that what you're saying? She said, basically that's what it is. So all of these things, when you're talking about a highway coming through, and one thing somebody said, well, that don't affect me. It may not be you today, but it could be you tomorrow.
The impact is so far reaching.
It is.
I'm looking at this map here. I can't
And you
believe
can't even envision all that's going to happen in the coming years.
Right.
Maybe even less than that.
And I can tell you of several people in each one of these corridors that just built homes. And we're talking about African Americans. Just built brand new homes. Some retired and relocated back home. And they stand a chance of losing their home. And I understand the fact, and as some people say, if you're going to get just value for your homes, if your homes are appraised at a point that you'll get just value, that's one thing. But money, all money ain't good money. And if you got ancestral property, what we're fighting now on Sand Ridge, and really it's a lost cause because they usurp eminent domain.
Right.
If you see SC&G, it's coming right through Sand Ridge. And the
Dirty Branch Road.
Dirty
right
Branch
down.
Road, and right by St. John Church. And do you know the pipeline? I'm gonna tell you just how serious it is. The pipeline is going by one of my cousin's bedroom window.
My goodness.
That's how close the stakes are to their house, where this pipeline is going. And they're going, I know we're talking about the road, but they're going from 600 psi's to 1200 psi's. And when the question was asked how dangerous this was, the gentleman from SC&G and Scanlon said, "Oh, it's very dangerous. You can anywhere from 10 blocks could be blown up before the valve shut off."
Okay, yeah, you need to elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah. So when we talk, oh, go ahead. I'm
We're
sorry.
talking 600 pounds per square inch of pressure coming from.
That's
the
what it
gas,
is
okay?
now.
And it's going to 12, so that's double that.
That's double that.
So
Yes.
the impact or the not the circumstances, but the resulting could be a house could be blown away.
Correct.
Okay, if it blows up.
Yes.
Okay. And gas is gas. If
Right.
it expands a long time, nobody pays attention to it, you know, that can take out a whole block.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just wanted you, kind of like elaborate that to our viewers, okay, and our
And the
listeners.
reason for the pipeline expansion, if those of you that may not be aware of it, because Myrtle Beach, and if you saw in the news last week, this area is the second fastest growing area
Yep.
on the East Coast.
Right.
So with all the residents that are moving into the Myrtle Beach area, most of the residents that are moving here from the north and out west, they use gas to cook with and to heat with.
That's very possible.
So it's gas for them is natural. So they use gas.
Right.
Well, the natural gas in this area is so weak, especially during the winter months, that it's causing people pilots to go out. So they needed to expand the pipeline to get more gas into Myrtle Beach. And the feeder line for that is where Olive Garden across from Tanger Outlet on 501 is feeding into that feeder line to get more pressure into Myrtle Beach and everything. So there's a long story about that. But even with the highway, and it was said, and I heard you mention Adam Emmerich, and just about 2 weeks ago in another community meeting out in Sand Ridge, because what we're having with all the development, even I'm having trouble with my septic,
Right.
is now backing up because with all the subdivisions
Right.
and the cement foundations and the clearing of trees,
Right.
water is now backing up.
Okay.
And then all our septic, and it was said in the meeting 2 weeks ago, which the city really has nothing to do because we're in a rural area, but
Right.
if they had jurisdiction, it would cost residents about $6,000 and some dollars to have a septic tank put down. One of the new ones that the city used.
With meeting new requirements.
Right, meeting new requirements. And so, and Adam mentioned in that meeting, and I'm only saying it because it was a public meeting,
Right.
and he mentioned that growth is inevitable for this
Yeah.
area. We see it, we heard it on the news and everything, and when we talk about this highway coming through, they even mentioned that, and I don't know if anyone know about in the Bucksport area. It says it's feeding into Grand Strand Water and Sewer off of PD Highway. That highway that's coming supposed to be around Bucksport to keep the trucks from going through Bucksport. And then we still talking about the southern evacuation route
Right.
for the southern end of Myrtle Beach.
Right.
And a lot of times when this is what we're saying about elected officials, regardless of I'm a Democrat ultimately, but regardless of whether you're Democrat or Republican, the thing is about having people at the table from whatever political affiliation is to have the people interest at heart. Yes, growth is inevitable. Can't get the word out. I don't know if you heard, even on DOT, if you go to their website, I don't know if many of you are aware of it. Well, we stand a chance that 501 bridge is getting ready to close because they need repairs on the main bridge.
We do need repairs on
Yeah,
the bridge.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
It was just mentioned there's some cracking on that bridge. We're going into summer and everything. So election have consequences. When we're talking about, and I shared with Sister April yesterday, when we're talking about a 10, 20, 30, 40-year comprehensive plan for a city or for a county, there are a lot of times they're not African Americans, and I mentioned this at the Sand Ridge meeting. Were you there that night?
Yeah.
And I mentioned this at the meeting so you could witness. There are a lot of times there are not any blacks or African American, however you want to state it, at the table. And then if we are fortunate enough to be at the table, we are not thinking for our fellow black brothers and sisters. We're so giddy to be at the table that we forget that we have members of our community that are not in the financial bracket, and because they have done service work in this area because we don't have big industry here.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the work is service work in our area.
Exactly.
So they're retiring, and I have to keep saying it because I want people to understand what we're dealing with in this area. When you have an 84-year-old who worked 64 years in a hotel at 2 mom-pop hotels, and she's retired with $263 a month in Social Security,
If that.
she can't afford a $6,000 septic tank unless
Right.
there's some grant money
Right.
coming, or some kind of grant or something she can do to offset that
Right.
and everything. So this is what I'm saying when we talking about a highway project coming through town and all of this, when we talking somebody to mediate for the residents, is things like this, because there's gonna be a road, as they said in the public meeting. Somebody's gonna be moved. Somebody's house or somebody's gonna lose their home within the coming year, a year and a half. The thing is about coming together, whether it affect you or not, is to help them make the best choice.
You know, what we're looking at here and what you passed out to us is a very clear indication of what's going to take place, and we're going to have it on our website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to our website.
Right, have it on our website so people can have a clear indication of how they're going to be impacted.
Right.
Okay, because you know that's almost all of one part of Conway.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, this part, the other side of 501.
Correct.
Where we're from, referencing where we are sitting now. And you're talking about race path area.
Yes.
Even that, at
Correct.
some point. Okay.
Well, look at the city of Conway. If you look at the city of Conway comprehensive plan for the going back about 20 years for the city of Conway, 20 or 30 years.
Yes.
Look at the plans for
That's all.
378 Wrights Boulevard.
Yeah.
And y'all know I'm still fuming over Wrights Boulevard, even though that didn't change. That we're talking about the honor of
Right, yeah.
of Louis Ergel
Yeah.
through a black corridor. Come on, people. But that's an argument for another day. But when we look at this map here, if you see this map, it went around. We know there are African Americans in these subdivisions, but basically, all of these other subdivisions they built,
Predominantly.
they're predominantly white.
Yeah.
It saved them, but it's coming through black-owned property. And so you look at this, it's very disheartening when you look at this
Well,
map.
these are clear arguments that I think can be well received, I believe,
Right.
with the right people.
Correct.
Okay, and I mean that's kind of like a saving grace. We're pointing this out.
Right.
Okay, of what some of the rights and wrongs are.
Mhm.
But that's the only saving grace. I think
Yeah.
I'm looking at that now. But
I think one thing that people can do, especially if you have internet access, there might be a website.
Yes, a website.
Yeah, there's a project website address on here, and we'll be sure to post that on our website. But when you see this potential roadway corridors map, you can basically kind of determine
Right.
where your property sits on this map, and you see
Exactly.
the roads going across or
Yeah.
through
Right.
or near your
Right.
property. So this is very crucial.
And this is an aerial photo.
Yeah, this is an aerial
so
photo.
You look at it very carefully, you'll know exactly where you are, okay?
Mhm.
But just a little bit of explanation here. I think you've got 3 different options on this plat, right? With the yellow, the blue, and
That's
the red.
five.
That's
And
five.
five different options. So
Yes.
I'm advising our listeners and our viewers to look at it that way. So it's all of these things won't be implemented, just one of them out of
Correct.
the 5, right?
Correct.
So
It says 5 potential.
yeah, right. So,
Mhm.
they're covering themselves by saying potential.
Mhm.
That's illegal. But you'll see when you go to our website, you'll see the 5 different colors on there, and you can kind of figure out what's. I was about to say what's best for you, but
I
we're
wonder
not.
why the reds, the yellows.
I don't know.
You think
They're overlapping.
that's the overlap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Corridor 4 overlaps with 3 and 5.
Okay.
But these are huge,
Yeah.
okay? Our listeners and our viewers, this thing, you like Brother Cedric said, it's a 4-lane road.
Yes.
Okay?
4-lane divided
Four-lane divided highway. That takes up a lot of
Yes.
land, okay? Not just the road itself, but you have to make room for drainage on each side, okay? So I'm talking about another 2 more lanes you got to figure. That's a lot of land to take up, okay?
But then, Brother McQueen, we also have to think about in our communities how children walk to the store,
Right.
walk to the aunt house.
That's right. Can't
Now,
do
this
that.
happened in this community now. Forrest Luke won't be able to walk across the street to go to Food Line like that
That's
because it'll be a 4-lane highway. Yeah, you're gonna have
Look at
to.
that.
Forrest, it's right behind Forrest Luke.
Look at that.
You won't have to. You have to cross a 4-lane highway to walk over to the Old Scotchman or CC's.
look, man, you got this co-host going here now. She, you know what you said?
Oh, yeah.
Look, this is my bike trail. I ride down that sidewalk almost to Forest Loop.
Oh,
Look at
yes.
Temple Street right there.
That's it, right. So people don't know the impact it has, even on children. You send your children to go up to CC's, to the grocery store,
Right.
to the side store, over. People walk because we don't have good public transportation. They walk to Food Line. Now they're gonna have to cross a 4-lane highway if you're on 9th Avenue. Anywhere you go, you're gonna have to cross a 4-lane highway if you don't know how to get around.
And
You know.
that issue exists right now between, the existing one, between El Bethel Road and Highway
Correct.
378, okay?
Exactly. Take-
People cannot, there's no walks, no crosswalk. where
No
you can-
crosswalk.
Okay? They should just look just at that, okay?
Exactly.
They can envision what's going to take place.
That's right.
Okay? People on one side of the community, they stay there all the time, and not coming on the other side.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't know if that has an advantage or disadvantage.
Well,
But anyway.
another one to look at is Mill Pond Road. That happened right across from Granger Road. Mill
Yeah.
Pond Road.
Mhm.
No
Right.
crosswalk,
That's
no
right.
overwalk.
Mm-hmm.
You just take a chance on
Just take
trying
it.
to get cross.
Trying to cross, yeah.
Well, I wish we had a lot more time. Go ahead.
I do too. I mean,
Okay.
Cedric, we can bring you back and talk a little bit more about this later, especially after the meeting to see
Okay.
what transpired. But just to remind you, the Horry County Ride 3, Conway Perimeter Road Phase 2, public information meeting, Sand Ridge and surrounding communities, tomorrow, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at St. John Church of God Fellowship Hall, 3401 Capes Bay Highway in Conway. And again, if you reside and or own property from Temple Street, Lincoln Park, down 9th Avenue to Dirty Branch Road, off of Capes Bay Highway, between Highway 701 South and 378, you should definitely be at this meeting.
Really,
Cedric,
really.
thank you so much for
Is
this
that-
information.
Now, this, St. John's is relative to what church? That's in front of the other church.
Right down from
Hemingway
Hemingway Chapel. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
in front of Newcastle.
I just want to
Okay.
give people no excuse for not being there. That's what I.
Yeah.
And again, don't say it's not your property. Come and support others
Mhm.
that may be displaced.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be everybody.
Exactly.
Property
Well,
before
that's
it's
the
over
truth.
with.
That's the
I
truth.
just think so.
Yes.
You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power right here on WPGS 1330 on your dial. There's nothing stopping us now.
Oh.
We've got Cedric in the house.
Okay.
Ain't no stopping us.
Nothing stopping us now.
Hey.
And you
The
should
Ku Klux
think like
Klan
that,
can't
okay?
even stop us.